Redigit 10 minutes dictation without punctuation, 80 plus speed, start. Sir, I rise to present the budget of 1993-94. It is now 20 months since our government took office. 20 eventful months in which we have worked ceaselessly to overcome the very difficult economic situations we inherited. In June 1991, the economy was in the throes of an unprecedented balance of payments crisis. A savage squeeze had been imposed on imports. International confidence had collapsed. Industrial production was falling and inflation was on the rise. The sense of crisis is now behind us. We have restored a measure of normalcy to our external payments. The annual rate of inflation has been reduced from the peak of 17% in August 1991 to below 7%. International confidence has been restored. Agriculture has performed well in the current year and industrial production is beginning to recover. The growth of economy, which had declined to 1.2% in 1991-92, expected to be around 4% in 1992-93. The economic strategy we have followed, resting on the twin pillars of fiscal discipline and structural reform, has been vindicated by the decisive outcome. Fiscal discipline was necessary because the government had lived for too long beyond its means. The rising fiscal deficits of the central government were the root cause of our balance of payments problem. Rising prices and high rate of interest. We have made good progress by reducing the fiscal from 8.4% of GDP in 1990-91 to about 5% in the current year. Policies of structural reform aimed at increasing efficiency in resource use and improving our international competitiveness were crucial for providing a lasting solution to the payments crisis. It was necessary to restructure our trade and industrial policies, encourage efficiency through greater domestic competition, allow our producers to have access to imports at reasonable rates of duty, encourage foreign investment and upgradation of technology, and progressively integrate the Indian economy with the world economy. Without these reforms, India would face the certain prospect of entering the 21st century as just about the poorest country in Asia. I am convinced that the Indian people would never tolerate such an outcome. India's natural and human resources entitle us to think in terms of becoming a major powerhouse of the world. Our reforms are inspired precisely by this vision. The policy initiatives we have taken do not in any way reduce our commitment to take care of the poor and the disadvantaged. On the contrary, we have taken steps to minimize the burden of adjustment on the poor and working classes. We have disproved those professional prophets of gloom who were predicting millions of people becoming unemployed. When we embarked on this path, we knew that the benefit of our policies would only be seen after 3 to 4 years. Patience is therefore essential. Nevertheless, honorable members can take comfort. What the early results are certainly encouraging. Inflation is down and production is beginning to recover. Fears of being swamped by imports as a consequence of liberalization have proved to be grossly exaggerated. Despite the virtual removal of import licensing in 1992-93, total imports in 1992-93 in dollars are likely to be lower than in 1990-91, although the rupees has been floated for most current account transactions. The market exchange rate has remained relatively stable. The investment climate has improved considerably. Corporate capital issues by non-government public limited companies in April October 1992 were 67% higher than in the same period of the previous year. Loans sanctioned by financial institutions in the first 10 months of 1992-93 were 49% higher than in the same period of the previous year. Foreign investors are showing active interest in investment in many sectors, including critical infrastructure sectors such as power and petroleum. Since August 1991, the approvals given for foreign investment proposals up to the end of January amount to an equity investment of 2.3 billions. These are, of course, only approvals at this stage, and actual flows will take time to materialize, but they certainly indicate a substantial potential for larger investment inflows in the future. Nevertheless, there is no room for complacency. Fiscal imbalances are still large. The efficiency and resource generating capacity of public sector enterprises are still very adequate. Inflationary expectations have not yet been purged from the system, and inflationary pressure could easily build up again if fiscal deficit is relaxed. The economy is still vulnerable to external shocks and loss of confidence. The riots and disturbances in December and January have also taken their toll by disrupting domestic production.